What's good, everybody? It's the Cloud of a Cab Show. We got NFL Week 10 recap. Really some big games. Obviously, the biggest game of them all that I really thought really stuck out to me was definitely the Ravens and the Patriots. I told you guys to go heavy on the Patriots. I went with the upset pick and it cashed in. Why did I go with the Patriots? I just think they were going to bounce back. I really thought Cam Newton had something to prove. And when Cam Newton has something to prove out there, he's a dangerous quarterback. And I thought, when Cam first came into the league back in 2011, it was just right then and there, we knew Cam was going to be special. Now, a decade later, he's with the New England Patriots. Not really making a huge contract, right? But I think overall, what we saw in this game is that the Patriots never give up. And we saw the greatness of Bill Belichick. And I've been on record, and I even said, look, Tom Brady is better than Bill Belichick. I get that. And I still stick with that. Because as for the player, instead of the coach, you guys are the ones that are playing. You're the ones that are throwing the ball. You're the ones that are in the game. The coach is just on the sideline. Yeah, he's telling you what to do and how to do it, but is he the one that's really in there doing it? You know what I'm saying? So there's a big difference. But I think ultimately what a win for the New England Patriots. That was my biggest upset pick of the week, and it hit. For Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, I'm not really worried, but I 100% believe that the Baltimore Ravens, they will make the playoffs, no doubt about it. It's just a matter of time, and I really think right now they're in the process of all right, let's know each other. Let's know the chemistry of the team. So to me, and I'm not really concerned about Lamar. Lamar, he went 24 for 34 on 249 yards passing with 2 touchdowns and just 1 interception. He also had 11 carries for 55 yards. Look, dude, and also Snead, chirp, Ball State, he had 5 receptions on 64 yards and 2 touchdowns. But look, the difference maker was Harris, New England Patriots running back. He had 22 carries on 121 yards. That was really the difference maker right then and there. And that was that. So, to me, what a win for the New England Patriots. I mean, the Ravens, about a week ago, leading up to this game, a couple days ago, they were 7-point favorites. Then they went down to 6.5. But I thought playing at New England in the conditions, it made sense to me. That's why I went with New England. Then we got the 49ers versus the Saints. The Saints win. I ended up cashing out on that. 49 was the over-under. Went with the under. But the bad news is, yes, Drew Brees got hurt. He had broken ribs, a punctured lung. Drew Brees, realistically, he'll be out for at least 4 weeks. That's my ideal. I mean, yes, optimistic-wise, a couple weeks. But let's be honest, I don't think the Saints should rush him back. I think they should at least give him a month, 4 to 8 weeks off. I really do. I think Jameis Winston and Hill, they'll fill in the place for them. For Brees for the time being right now. So I'm not really worried about the Saints. The Saints, I believe they're on like a 5 or 6 game winning streak. So to me, I think they just keep riding the wave. And I think Winston came in. He really proved to me that he is a different quarterback than he was in Tampa with the 30 interception quarterback. There's a big difference. But I also like Hill. This kid, he can run. He can do a lot of things. He's their spark on offense. So I think they're going to utilize him a lot moving forward. And also, obviously, Kamara, one of the best running backs in the league. But for the 49ers, you guys are banged up. And it's really a sad story for the 49ers. You guys were a couple plays from Super Bowl champions this past year. Now, all of a sudden, you're looking at it's like, man, you're not even going to be in the playoffs this year. And I get it. They have so many injuries. They've been banged up. It's really bad for the San Francisco 49ers. But for the Saints, there's still brighter days. I get it. Drew Brees is hurt, but he will be back. In hope to my brother Drew Brees, he will be back. Then we got the Texans versus the Browns. I ended up picking the Texans for the upset pick. And obviously the Texans lost 7-10. Chubb, he had touchdown 1, and he ran out of bounds. But they were up 10-7 at the time. But the spread was 4. So if he just runs it in, an extra 1 or 2 yards, that they ended up covering that, right? But I understand so many people out there were really pissed off because they went with the over on that. They went the over-under. Excuse me, not the over-under. They went with the spread on that, the 4, and they only won by 3. So a lot of people lost that money because he went out of bounds at the very end. But, hats off to the Browns. Like I said, 46 was the over-under. Baker, he had a pretty decent game. But look, for Deshaun Watson, he went 20 for 30 on 163 yards and 1 touchdown. But look, dude, for me, it's just been one of them things where it's like, man, this isn't Texans' year right now. And I really think, like I've been saying week in and week out, they need to give Deshaun Watson more weapons. moving forward in the future. If the Houston Texans want to be good, they need to give them more weapons. That's that, dude. Plain and simple. They need more weapons for the Houston Texans, but a big win for the Browns. This was a must-win, I believe, for the Browns because obviously losing Odell I want to say less than a month ago, but losing Odell is huge to me, but I still think the Browns and Baker, the sober Johnny Manziel, I think they could really bring that spark, so big win for the Browns. Then we had the Washington team versus the Lions. I ended up picking the Lions. I told you guys to go the Lions, and we saw Alex Smith finally get a start. Look, for Alex Smith, he had 390 yards, and to me, this is crazy. After 15-plus surgeries, coming back the way he did. Look, the Lions, Stafford, he went 24 for 33 on 276 yards passing and 3 touchdowns. Prater, their kicker, he had a game-winning field goal as time expired. Amazing to me. This was a 59-yard field goal, dude, for the Lions. They went crazy, which they should have been. A huge win for the Detroit Lions. I'm telling you what, if the Detroit Lions can get on a roll, they can maybe squeak into the wild card. I mean, who would have thought that I would say the Detroit Lions could squeak into the wild card? They really can. This is real life. This is reality. Shout out to the Detroit Lions one time and Matt Stafford. Then we got the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Green Bay Packers. To me, Green Bay, I can't believe it. 13.5, I thought for sure they'd win by more. They only won by like 4 or 5 points, dude. To me, Green Bay, their weakness is their secondary. And to me, it's just like, what's been new for Green Bay's defense this past, 8 years? 8 years. And I feel like, defense does win championships, but give some help to Aaron Rodgers for one time, right? I mean, Aaron Rodgers can't do it all. Aaron Rodgers went 24 for 34 on 325 yards passing, 2 touchdowns and 1 pick. Didn't have the best game, right? But like I said, for me, it was just like, wow. And then the backup quarterback for Jacksonville, Luton, he had 169 yards with 1 touchdown and 1 pick. So it was one of the things where it's like, wow, dude, I cannot believe it. But overall, for Green Bay, there's definitely some question marks moving forward. You guys have a lot of question marks where it's just like, is Green Bay really a Super Bowl contender right now? No. Absolutely not. They still have a long way to go, but they still have Aaron Rodgers, arguably the best quarterback in the league. But I would say Tom Brady's better. But, hats off to Aaron Rodgers and Green Bay. A win is a win. Then we got the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Giants. This was my second game I got wrong. Obviously, I picked the Texans over the Browns. Got that wrong. But for me, the Eagles, Carson Wentz, obviously not having a good year. He only had 208 yards passing to this game. To me, it's just like, dude, man, we're seeing a different kind of Carson Wentz this year. And to me, what the crazy thing is with the Eagles, yet they can still squeak into the wild card. That's what's crazy about this. They can win, dude. They can still make the playoffs if they never give up. But to me, it's just like, Philly, what more do you guys have to go wrong? You guys played the Giants here, without Saquon Barkley out for season. So to me, it's just like, wow. Daniel Jones, he went 21 for 28 on 244 yards passing. What a game. What a game. Hats off to the New York Giants. I did not see this coming. I 100% went all in on the Eagles. I thought Carson Wentz was really going to have a baller game and ball out and prove to the people, hey, I am their franchise quarterback for the next decade. But right now, Carson Wentz, it does not look like he's going to end his career in Philly. It really doesn't right now. But, big question mark with the Philadelphia Eagles. Then we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Panthers. Tampa was 6.5-point favorites. I went heavy on Tampa. And then obviously McCaffrey was out. Look, Tom Brady, last week versus the Saints, threw 3 interceptions. But look, a bounce back game for Tom Brady. I wasn't concerned about that. Tom Brady, he went 28 for 39 on 341 yards passing and 3 touchdowns. The running back, Ronald Jones III, he had 23 carries on 192 yards and 1 touchdown. His top speed, I believe, was like 22 miles an hour. Crazy. Tampa Bay, and obviously adding Antonio Brown, and a lot of different stuff is coming out about Antonio Brown. If I'm Antonio Brown, I stay on the straight path. And to me, it's just like, this is Antonio Brown's probably last shot in the NFL right now. So what I'm hearing, there's new stuff coming out about cameras, whatever. I just hope the best for Antonio Brown, and I hope he does not hope Tampa does not release Antonio Brown, because this might be his only shot. Teddy Bridgewater had a pretty decent game, 136 yards with 2 touchdowns and 1 pick. Like I said, McCaffrey was out. The Bucs really destroyed the Panthers, and this was expected to me. I didn't think Tom Brady was going to have back-to-back horrible games. No way in heck. So to me, Tampa, I'm telling you what, they are going to make the playoffs this year, and they are going to be a threat. Since they host the Super Bowl in 2021, to me, it's crazy. You guys got to go and Tom Brady there, so this is going to be great. I cannot wait. And then we got the Broncos versus the Raiders. I picked the Raiders. Obviously, the Raiders, dude, they're legit this year. 4 points was the spread. 50.5 was the over-under. Went with the under. Josh Jacobs was the difference maker for the Raiders. I like this kid. He had 21 carries on 112 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, that right there, that's really what the difference maker is. Derek Carr, 154 yards. But to me, the Broncos, Drew Lock did not have a good game. He had 257 yards passing with 1 touchdown and 4 picks. 4 picks, Drew. Come on. You know what I'm saying? To me, that's not cutting it. That is not cutting it at all. So to me, it was just like, wow. But the Raiders, I'm telling you, the Las Vegas Raiders, they're 100%, I believe, making the playoffs this year. No doubt about it. Then we got the LA Chargers versus the Miami Dolphins. Miami was 1.5-point favorites going in, and I picked heavy on Miami. I said Tua, what he's got right there in Miami, I think Tua is definitely the future for Miami Dolphins. I really do. Tua, he went 15 for 25 on 169 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. That was really the difference maker, dude. Herbert on the other end, he went 20 for 32 on 187 yards passing with 2 touchdowns and 1 pick. But look, it wasn't enough. And Miami, dude, their defense is legit. They're all around right now, the Miami Dolphins. They're playing great, dude. They are 6-3. Who would have thought the Miami Dolphins would be 6-3 at this point? Nobody did, dude. Nobody thought they would be, but Tua, man, I'm telling you what, he brings it, dude. He has that fire, that capability, that wanting to win, dude, coming from Alabama, so I love it, dude. I feel like this was a no-brainer game. I went heavy on Miami. 48.5 was the over-under. Over it, cashed in, baby. Let's go. Then we had the Bills versus Arizona. I ended up picking Arizona, getting super lucky. Obviously, if you went money line, you cashed out. If you went with the spread, 3, they didn't. They only won by 2. The Bills really shot themselves in the foot in this game. You guys had the game in the bag. To me, it was crazy. Josh Allen, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions on 284 yards passing. Cole Beasley had 11 receptions on 109 yards and 1 touchdown. You would think the Bills easily won this game, right? That's that. No. Murray, he ended up balling out. He had 245 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. DeAndre Hopkins was the difference maker. He had 7 receptions on 127 yards and 1 touchdown. And we saw the last play of the game. Murray ended up extending out, throwing a Hail Mary. He was at like the 45, 50-yard line, throwing it up, a prayer, and DeAndre Hopkins ended up catching it over 2 people for the game, for the touchdown. And it was amazing to me. And we're starting to see that more and more in the NFL where these Hail Marys, and I would say Hail Mary's like, a 70-yarder, 75-yard throw. I mean, these are like 45, 50-yard throws here. So I wouldn't call those a super Hail Mary, but to me, this was amazing. And Murray, I'm telling you, he's the future for Arizona. He's going to stay there. Kyler Murray, shout out to him, bro. And shout out to Josh Allen. These both young quarterbacks, they are the future of both of these franchises, no doubt about it. I 100% believe that. But Murray, way to get the job done. Way to extend the play and throw it up for DeAndre Hopkins to have a shot. And they did. And what a way to win, man. Congrats to Arizona. What a win. 56.5 was the over-under. Went with the over. Ended up cashing out. What a game. And then we got Seattle versus the Rams. And this was my third and final game that I got wrong. I ended up picking Seattle. And like I said, I think Seattle's really hitting a bump in the road right now, including Russell Wilson. And I said about a month ago, Russell Wilson was leading the MVP candidate, no doubt about it, right? I mean, we all thought that, right? We were like, yeah, he's definitely got it in the bag, right? But, Russell Wilson's not having a good couple weeks here. 2 interceptions this game on 248 yards. He also had 8 carries on 60 yards. To me, but the Rams, Jared Goff, and their defense is really what got it done. Jared Goff, 302 yards. And like I said, their defense is legit, holding 16 points with Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks. That's amazing to me. I'm telling you what, dude, they are legit. I would say the Rams have a top 5 defense right now, from defensive line all the way to the corners. To me, I love where they're going right now. And Ramsey, those boys, I'm telling you what, they are legit. Right now, the Rams, dude, they are a threat, and they will make the playoffs. I think both these teams will make the playoffs moving forward, but I think what we learned a lot about the LA Rams is, dude, they are coming. They have arrived, dude. They have a great offensive line and a great defensive line, and that is very dangerous. So, huge win for the Rams. I cannot believe it, dude. Huge win. And then we got the Bengals versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Bengals, Joe Burrow, like I said, the future's bright in Cincinnati. Joe Burrow is the future there. No doubt about it. He had 213 yards and 1 touchdown. T. Higgins, his favorite target this game, he had 7 receptions on 15 yards and 1 touchdown. But to me, Pittsburgh, they are legit. I ended up going heavy on Pittsburgh. 7.5 was the spread. And they did that. They did it pretty easily well. Ben Roethlisberger, he had 333 yards passing and 4 touchdowns. I'm telling you what, and Johnson, their receiver, he had 6 receptions on 116 yards and 1 touchdown. But to me, Ben, dude, he's bringing it. He's bringing it. And I know I give him a hard time dealing with the rape allegations. I want to believe it was back in 08, 09. That's why I say rapist Big Ben a lot, But look, dude, I'll give him respect. He's got 2 Super Bowl rings, but we have to understand, a lot of those chances, those opportunities, he had great defenses. Okay, let's not forget that. But I'm telling you what, Pittsburgh is 9-0 right now. They are very dangerous. Mike Tomlin, one of the best coaches in the NFL right now. Mike Tomlin, dude, so much respect to him and where they're going at in Pittsburgh. Right now, Pittsburgh's the best team in the NFL. Not just because they're undefeated, the way they've been playing, dude. They've been playing lights out. And right now, I don't really see any team beating them. I really don't. So, to me, this is a huge, huge opportunity for Pittsburgh to really run the table and get home field advantage in the playoffs. I mean, right? Yes, we're talking about the playoffs, but I tell you what, dude, this is crazy. Then we had the Monday night game, Minnesota versus the Bears. I ended up going back and forth. I wanted to go to the Bears, but I ended up picking Minnesota, and this might have been a bad pick right at the time. Kirk Cousins in Monday Night Football games, I believe he was like 0-9. But, Kirk Cousins finally got the job done, dude. Kirk Cousins, this game, he had 292 yards passing with 2 touchdowns and just 1 pick. Obviously, their star running back, Dalvin Cook, he had 30 carries on 96 yards. I'm telling you what, dude. Minnesota, like I said, why I went Minnesota is strictly because the way they've been playing the last couple weeks. They've been playing like the old Minnesota Vikings that we saw last year and the year before that. The year that they beat the Saints in the playoffs, dude. This is legit, man. I'm telling you what, Minnesota is nice this year. Dude, and I know they started off really bad. They're 4-5 now, but to me, I'm telling you what, they are something else. Justin Jefferson, their receiver, he had 8 receptions on 135 yards. Nick Foles really didn't have a good game, only 106 yards and 1 interception. Do they put Trubisky back in? I would still keep Nick Foles in, okay? He's won a Super Bowl. He's been there. He will bounce back. The Bears are 500 right now, 5-5. They're right in the middle. So to me, they're in a prime spot right now where it's like, what are you guys going to do now? For the Chicago Bears moving forward, I would say, look, Bears need to keep Nick Foles there. They do. Bears next week playing the Packers. It only gets harder from here. So to me, I think you stay with Nick Foles. You stay with Nick Foles and run it out until the end. I think that's a smart move. But obviously, the biggest upset pick of the week that I picked was the Patriots. And I really don't think that was a huge upset coming in on paper for sure. A lot of people were saying, oh, Baltimore Ravens 100. I just thought, with the stakes, where they were at and where Cam Newton was playing, I thought that was a suck bet to pick the Ravens, especially the away team, the Ravens. So to me, I think obviously the Ravens, I'm not concerned about them. But for me, it was a must-win for the Patriots. Shout out to the Patriots and shout out to my Indianapolis Colts getting a big win at Tennessee, baby. This is the NFL, boys. It's the Cloud of a Cab Show. Let's go!